everyone. What a joy it is to see you this morning. It's been a roller coaster of 3 weeks. And this is our last weekend, Jane.
I know.
Gosh, it's been amazing. What have you enjoyed?
I have enjoyed so much of it. I have to say, last night I thought was pretty amazing with Letters to the Earth.
It was incredible.
And being there again with our festival director, Ben Oakrey, and his lovely daughter. She was amazing, wasn't she? But to hear an excerpt from Ben's new book that he's working on, that was just so unexpected, and what a privilege to have that.
Exactly.
I mean, Ben's been extraordinary from beginning to end, hasn't he?
He certainly has. And last weekend, the interview that I did with him at Skipton Town Hall, and also the workshop that we did for just over a dozen very, very lucky people, was just amazing at Lower Winskill Farm. And it was a privilege. It was insightful. The only challenge I've had is that so much has happened since then. I haven't had enough time for me to process that experience. And I think somehow this year, that's one of the things we're going to really need time to do, is to process the wisdom, the insight, the joys, the jewels that we've been given over the last 3 weeks.
Because there's just been so much, hasn't there? There's been so much information, but so much passion, so much heart, quite a lot of sadness as well in terms of the grief that people are feeling around the climate emergency. And it's been jam-packed. So actually, I can barely remember back to that first weekend when, we had our alternative bonfire night. It just seems so long ago, doesn't it? It really does, yeah.
It really is a really long ago. And then there have been other things that I've really enjoyed as well, because I've really enjoyed, the interviews with Planet Walker John Francis, and then there've been things that I wasn't expecting to be moved by, like seed stories.
Emily Adraghi was just gorgeous, wasn't she?
Just incredible.
Yeah.
And just little jewels of an offering about the way in which we think about seeds, and then that lovely presentation from Charlotte Ducan about from the Dark Mountain Project, and her and Lata Mani and Georgina Langdale, with a very different look at how we look at the environment, and looking at the internal environment as well as the external environment. And then don't forget, we've had this wonderful schools program as well, Dominic Kelly and his bird stories, and then Sinead Burke last week, talking about how we take our place in the world, and some insightful things for people to take away and really make differences to their lives.
Yes. And C. Gabriel's piece as well. That was really about how you could think about your story. And she's got a lovely phrase about, your life's a story, so you've got to author it well, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was great. And then, you look back and we've had things like Complicité and Can I Live with Fenty Balogun, which was phenomenal, and within that hour, there was just so much in terms of science and information, but also, humour and generosity of spirit, and just the energy and the passion that he brings. I loved that.
And lots of young people watched it.
Did they?
Yes, and I had comments from people saying, "Oh, that was really amazing. I can't imagine that he got so much into 1 hour, and how did he manage it?" And I think what we have seen with all of these things is about how story has helped communicate the issues that we're facing, and in a way where we are moved in our heart to be able to make changes. And it was interesting, the question that we were all asked last night about, so what is it that you're going to do in terms of your letter to the earth? What are you going to do? And I suppose I'm reflecting myself. What is it that I feel like I do quite a lot, but what is it that I need to do? What are the things, what are the changes that I need to make? And what are the changes as well that I feel resistant about? Because there are things we go, yep, I really love X, Y, or Z, So how do we find a way of embracing the new and letting go?
And I think there's also something as well about being able to say, okay, well, I'm making this change, I'm doing this, but that's within my power and within my capacity, and I don't mind that you can't do that. Yeah. You know, and I found that really interesting from the activism panel. Yes. You know, it's not within everybody's power to go and get arrested and potentially spend time in prison. You know, for some people that is not accessible. So if it's about recycling and if it's about not flying, and those are your choices, that is fine. And I really liked Peter Kalmus yesterday, actually, and him saying, you know, in 2012, I decided to stop flying, but, you know, I'm here in New York today, and obviously he'd done a massive journey to get from California to New York, but, you know, that was part of his commitment and his change, and I thought it was great.
It was, and I've also enjoyed the fact that we've had so many people from different backgrounds and from different parts of the world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Indigenous storytellers, we've had people from Africa, North America, you know, both US, Canada, the Amazon, India,
Pakistan,
Syria, you know, all of these things. And I just think that all of this is really helpful for us as we look at the fact that we are all one as a world. And we need to celebrate the fact that we can all come together. And there's only one planet Earth, and so let us be together and enjoy that space together.
And I think that what's really interesting is I know this year we've had our hybrid festival and we've had local events, but we've still retained that digital space and held that digital space, which has meant that we can be together with people from all over the world and share that experience in a much more ecologically friendly way than flying everybody to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So who knows what next year brings? What are you looking forward to? Because you've still got a few things left.
Well, I know, we've got an amazing weekend. I am so excited about being with Joanne Harris today. She's with us because she judged our children's story competition. We've got a workshop with the winners and with some other children.
No, the workshop is with your local young
people. It's with okay, great. So she's in Settle Library.
She's in Settle Library running a workshop for young people.
That's just fantastic.
Which is brilliant. And then this evening she's going to be in conversation, and we're bringing back an old friend. Who are we bringing back?
Oh, the lovely Charles Tyra. He's coming back. And so is he going to be interviewing Joanne?
And he's interviewing Joanne.
Oh, that's great. That's really nice.
You know, because Charles was the person who made the contact with Joanne in the first place. And I just felt it was really important to kind of it was like completing the circle, as it were, you know, and towards the end of the festival. And then tomorrow, what have we got tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow we've got a gorgeous event with Elizabeth Garner telling folk tales from her new book Lost and Found.
That's right, yes.
And we've got a folk duo with her, and it's at the Falcon Manor, which is a beautiful hotel here in Settle. Roaring fires. They're doing a special pie and pea supper. There's still some tickets available for people who live locally and would like to come along. Yep. Tickets are free.
The tickets are free. I think you do have to pay for your pie and pea supper.
Yes.
But you know, the tickets are free, and look at that music and stories. And we'll be closing the festival then. And there'll be some other surprises as well, won't there?
Yeah.
We're going to be. Shall I tell everybody what?
Tell everybody what we're going to do.
So we're going to declare tomorrow. And declare standing with Culture Declares. In our commitment to settle stories and aligning ourselves with creating a more eco-friendly and sustainable world, and expressing our belief that there is a climate crisis that we all need to address.
And the thing is, what I've really learned during this festival is once you know all of this stuff, you can't unknow it.
You can't unknow it.
And you can't put this down. No. You can't just close this off and go, yep, well, that's it, YFOS 22 environment, that's done. I mean, I feel that for all of us on the team, it's really had an impact, hasn't it?
It's had a huge impact, and I know that for myself, you know, the conversations that we've had over dinner have been, not that they aren't about the festival, because as you can imagine, it's all a bit crazy during the festival time, so we are all talking about the festival, but this year we've been really, really unpicking and talking about the issues and the relationships with what other people have been saying about it at the same time.
Yeah.
So have we got some thank yous, Jane?
Oh, I think we do, because, you know, something like this doesn't happen by accident. There's huge amounts of planning that goes in, but also there's huge amounts of support as well, isn't there, and commitment from, you know, the whole community. I think the first people I'd like to start off by thanking is the venues that have hosted our live events.
Yes.
Because it's been amazing this year, because we've had this whole journey of learning how to stream out.
Yeah.
And John and Graham, who've been our technical mainstays, and Simon as well, they've really kind of supported all of this. But the host venues have been very patient and tolerant with us while we've, you know, set up and worked out what we're doing, and made sure that we can stream out to those of you that are, you know, national and international. Yeah. But we started off at Grassington Town Hall.
Yes.
They were fantastic.
Yep.
And then we were at Holy Trinity Church in Skipton with Amanda Owen. So big thank you to Reverend James Theodosis and Bev McDade, the parish administrator there. They were brilliant. Then we had Settle Victoria Hall. Yes. For all of those, the River Ribble stories.
Yes, that's right.
And that's just around the corner. The world's oldest music hall, reputedly.
Yes.
And so it was lovely to have a home gig, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it was Skipton Town Hall.
Yeah. So Joel over at Skipton Town Hall, and Ted, technician at Skipton Town Hall as well. They were brilliant last week, weren't they? The whole team at Skipton Town Hall were great.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And then this afternoon we've got Settle Library, and John and Hazel have, you know, really helped to bring that event together.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. And then tomorrow evening at Falcon Manor, and we want to thank Sarah and Isabel, and, you know, all the support and help that we've had, because we keep on turning up at places and checking the Wi-Fi connections and things. So that's all been really good.
And the Falcon Manor not only are hosting us, but also they've been a festival sponsor as well.
They have indeed, and that's been really, really appreciated. And tell me, Jane, who have been the other sponsors?
Well, one of the really important local sponsors has been Comply Direct, who are based just outside of Skipton. They're an environmental consultancy firm. Some people who watch the Festival Living Room, I think maybe Festival Living Room 2, might have met one of their team there, Susanna, who was talking about what they did and giving us some advice on sustainability and tips on how to live sustainably. And they gave us £8,000.
Which was incredibly generous, and we're hugely thankful for that. And it's also wonderful to be working, you know, with a local business with that kind of donation, and one whose priorities and whose you know, their approach is so closely aligned with the festival theme.
Yeah, definitely. But we've also benefited from other funding as well. Yep. Obviously, Arts Council England is one of our main supporters, and the festival would not have happened without their huge levels of support. So we're really grateful for that, aren't we?
Very grateful indeed.
Yeah.
And there's been Garfield Weston, who has supported us over the last couple of years. So a big thank you to Garfield Weston. And actually, we should also thank, although they haven't directly sponsored the festival this year, but all of this kit that we've been used has been paid for by a grant from the Foyle Foundation. So we're very thankful for that as well.
And that's the thing that's really enabled us to make sure that we can speak to our, you know, online audience wherever you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Craven District Council, and working with them on the Seed Commission for the beautiful piece that Sarah and Mark did earlier in the week, Nightingale, which we live streamed from here. Again, this couldn't happen without the support of Craven District Council.
And then there's been the Key Fund, which is a really important supporter for us, and particularly for the work that we're doing with schools.
Yes, the schools and Storyversity. So the work of the Key Fund has helped to support that. And one of the Storyversity courses that we're developing that's been part of this eco project, festival project we'll be working on with Elizabeth Garner next year, is also supported by the Key Fund.
Oh, great. So just tell us a little bit about Storyversity and how people can get involved.
So Storyversity, you can find all details at storyversity.org. And this is our platform to teach you how to tell stories so you can make a difference. We all need to be able to tell a good story, because when we can, we know that others can really hear us and understand us. Facts are really important, but actually we are moved by stories. The human brain is a story brain. And so having these stories and learning to do this and developing this skill is very important. And this is closely linked as well to our schools program, Stories for Schools, which we've recently launched, where we're able to reach thousands of children. Because during lockdown, we started to do more live streaming events. Last year we reached 80,000, I think, children and young people. And in October alone, I think we reached something like 25,000 children and young people through our Black History Month events, etc. So what Storyversity does is supports and help teachers as well as those who are practitioners of storytelling, artists and individuals to develop their skills. So storyversity.org.
And Stories for Schools is a fantastic program, isn't it? You know, we're getting into mainly primary schools at the moment, with storytellers being live streamed in with stories that are very relevant to the curriculum and what, you know, teachers need, and it's highly affordable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a key thing at the moment in terms of, you know, the cost of living crisis and the pressures that are on school budgets, and how difficult it is for teachers to bring additionality into school. But actually, for £5, a class can log in to stories and get a fantastic storyteller.
Yes, and we've got some Christmas events coming up.
Great.
So those are a little more expensive because they're £10. But again, it's for the whole class. And we've got two fabulous events coming up, which is the Father Christmas storytelling for Key Stage 2, and for YFOS and Key Stage 1, we've got 3 Christmas wishes.
Oh, lovely. And who's doing 3 Christmas wishes?
That's Keith Donnelly.
Oh, brilliant. And obviously I know that the real Father Christmas will be doing...
Father Christmas, yeah, he's dropping in, just like he's a very busy time of year for Father Christmas.
Yeah.
But he is dropping in just to meet with the children who want to meet him, and those are live streamed events.
Great, that is going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I think there's also some thank yous to the team, isn't there? Because everybody's worked their socks off, haven't they?
They certainly have. So a big thank you to you, Jane.
Oh,
because, you know, you helped to keep us on the straight and narrow, get our funding, building the relationships with people like Comply Direct, and getting things organised. So big thank you to you. A thank you to John, who has taken on the job of being Chief Tech and who's really helped with all the live streaming and making that happen. A thank you to Graham, my very long-suffering husband, who has been doing the website and other parts of the tech. Lucy, who's done a phenomenal job on the marketing, PR, and run a bookshop, because this year as well we've got a bookshop. So you can go to the festival website, YorkshireFestivalStories.com, and on there, on the homepage, if you click bookshop, you have access to loads and loads of wonderful books bought from independent bookshops. So you're not only supporting them, and you're also supporting Set of Stories. Gillian, who has been working with us on the finance. And then we've had a couple of interns, haven't we? We've had Ethan and Creepy, who have been fantastic interns. But I think there have been also some volunteers as well, haven't there?
Yes, there's been lots of volunteers. Settled Stories, when we did the festival live pre-pandemic, you know, it always had a huge team of volunteers. So it's been great to see some of them coming back. It was great to work with Margaret at the bonfire event, Annalise, who came and supported at Holy Trinity in Skipton. We've had Sarah.
Yes, lots of Sarahs.
lots of Sarahs, Olasoji, Anne, Elizabeth.
Yes.
You know, we're really fortunate with all of our volunteers and also our trustees.
Very much so. Tony Durkin, who's our chair, has really helped us a great deal as we've navigated moving from a pandemic world to a post-pandemic world as we move forward into the new times. So they've all been incredibly supportive and helpful, and we can't thank them enough. And I suppose I just want to thank as well all the audiences and any volunteers or anyone we've forgotten by accident. We really apologise.
Well, I'm just going to throw a big shout out to Simon Whittaker.
Absolutely.
Because Simon's one of our trustees, but he's also fantastic on the tech side of things and the stage management side of things.
Yes.
And his wife Di as well
Yes.
has been hugely supportive too.
Hugely supportive.
Yeah.
So there have been all sorts of people that have helped to get this festival on the road, and will help to continue to keep it on the road.
But Sita, I think that all of our audience and all of our team will want to say a very big thank you to you as well, because without you and without your vision and without your commitment and without your dedication to it all, it just wouldn't happen. So, you know, it's been a privilege, it's been an honour for all of us to be part of it. And you know, and to work with you and to make this happen. So I hope that by the time we get to the end of Sunday night, you know, you will be able to kind of look back and go, oh, we did it. That was all right. That was pretty good.
Right. Certainly. So, and finally, just to thank our audiences.
Oh, yeah.
Again. You know, without you, we couldn't do it. So it's the people who come and supported us in a variety of different ways. There's still time to check in and see events, and even after the events Sunday night, there's still the last episode then of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and I know there have been lots of people checking in every night, and that will still continue to be available for a few months, so we can all catch up.
Great.
For those of us who haven't been able to. So a big thank you to everybody. It's been a pleasure and a joy to have you all here and to be able to bring this festival alive. It's like making a dream come true. So thank you everyone, and goodbye.